Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is June 9th, 2021, and my name is Adam, and as always, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And we just had a funny thing happen.
Yeah.
We just recorded a little bit of the podcast, and it got lost, so we'll give you a quick recap.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
it disappeared on me. I just the other day was looking back at graduating with my degree in recording engineering, and I couldn't. I was looking at this and didn't realize that it wasn't recording what it was supposed to be. That was money.
oh,
That
yeah.
was money well spent. Cheers.
Yeah. We talked about our weeks. It's been very busy, right? We talked about how funny it is some people call the movie theater these days.
Still a thing.
Um, yeah, that was it. Brought back some good memories of doing that with my grandma, trying to figure out what time the Lion King started. Um, and yeah, we were just talking about how just busy everything's been. I forgot to ask you if you played anything this week. Have you watched anything besides some of the movies coming out, or what have you done?
Shoot, video game wise, what have I been playing? Oh, I did because it's on PlayStation Now. I think it's the one that it's on. I forget if it's Now or it's Plus. I played through the story mode for the Avengers game that came out last year.
Yeah.
It's I mean it's fine. It's not fantastic. I think it's been patched and fixed a hell of a lot since
Hmm.
it was released, and it simply suffered from so much hype because it was a big budget Avengers game and it didn't quite live up to it,
Right.
which is a bit of a bummer, especially for Square. But I mean, it was fine. The story was good. I really enjoyed the story aspect of it. But it was gameplay wise, it was fine. And I don't think I've really been digging into anything else. Uh,
Yeah.
Game wise, stuff that I've been watching aside from new movies that have came out. I, I'm still on a bit of an anime roll.
Hmm.
So I started watching what is apparently the other basketball anime. I didn't know there was more than one, but being that it's anime, the one that I think everybody talks about or thinks about when they think of a basketball anime, anybody who thinks of a basketball anime, is I think it's Kokoro's basketball, which is not the one I watched. The one that I've been watching is Ahiro no Sora, which is another basketball anime. It's more slice of life ish. There's nothing.
Oh.
There's no. There's in Kokoro's basketball is I think where you get like everybody has signature moves and things like that.
Oh.
It's a little more like that, which is I mean that's fine. Whatever, it's anime.
Mhm.
Everything's a little weird, but
Right.
a Hero no Sora is a way more grounded, just sort of slice of life. Hey, these guys are just trying to play basketball in high
Hmm.
school kind of anime, and it's oddly fascinating. It doesn't sound like something that I would be interested in at all because
Right.
it's just a high school anime drama that includes basketball. Two things that do not usually equal fun to me. 'Cause I'm not a giant basketball fan, but it's oddly captivating. It really is. But I've been watching that. It's like 50 episodes, and I think I just hit halfway yesterday. And of all places to find it, it's on Peacock.
Really?
Yeah, there's actually some anime on Peacock, which I mean, in one sense, I'm not surprised. It's a streaming service, so I'm not shocked it has anime. But for whatever reason, like they decided to put their anime section up, and there wasn't like much that jumped out at me. And I really
Yeah.
think when I saw that, it was just like, oh yeah, I keep seeing like in videos where everybody's talking about it's like, man, this basketball anime is really good, and
Hmm.
but it wasn't this one. But I'm actually really enjoying it. Like I found this by accident and mistake, but
Well, there you go.
it's enjoyable. And
Yeah.
nobody is more surprised than me when it's just like, hey, here's something that nobody is talking about and nobody overtly seems interested in, and you found it and you like it, congratulations. Like that's especially when it comes to anime. You know, like I'm a bandwagoner. You know, the full stop. Dragon Ball, Naruto, Attack on Titan. It's not until people start talking about it that I go out and find whatever it is. You know, same thing with Demon Slayer. Never heard of it until we were gonna get the movie. I was like, well, maybe I should check this out. And
Right.
you know, damn, am I glad I did? It was really good.
Oh yeah, yeah, hell yeah. I,
That's
I watched the movie. I think we talked about that last week. I finished
yeah.
the movie, and it was really good.
But
Uh,
but what about you, man? What have you been up to?
Final Fantasy. I have
Yeah,
still been going hog at Final Fantasy.
nice,
Dropped the Black Mage because I wasn't just not enjoying it. And picked up the Samurai, and boy, has that been fun.
nice.
I'm pretty much. I think I'm almost through the original content, the Realm Reborn content,
Right.
and right on the verge of. I think I have one raid left. I was told to wait until I got about an hour's worth of time before I do the last raid, and that's kind of what I'm on right now.
Yeah.
I'm right at the gate to do that, so that has been a ton of fun. And yeah, and I think I'm going to be doing Burning Crusade a little bit this week. Everyone's kind of jumped on that. That has come back. That's Burning Crusade Classic. So remember how we talked about how they brought back Classic WoW? Now they brought back Classic Burning Crusade. So tons of people are playing that, and I got that FOMO, where everyone's playing something, and I'm like, God damn it! I have the game. I still have the subscription because I have a 6-month subscription, and it's free to anyone who has a subscription. So you can just move your character to it, or you can do all sorts of things. You can clone your character. You can move your character, and controversially, that's not even a word. Sorry, people can now boost their character in Classic Burning Crusade, which you can boost one character per account up to level 58. Classic, you can level up to 60. So this boosts you to 58, which means you can go into Outland, which is the expansion. And a lot of people don't like that for a lot of reasons, because now bots can easily just jump to level 58, and that's a problem. But I think I'm going to be doing that with one of my characters to get out into Outland this week. So yeah, just been kind of doing that, and like I said, just really been going ham at Final Fantasy with my friends. It's been a blast. They love it. I'm pretty sure they're sticking with that game until something significant comes out with Warcraft. I don't even know if the patch will bring them back with the new raid and everything.
Yeah.
Because they're really burned out on Shadowlands. Whatever the next expansion is cannot come out soon enough. I saw the other day, like, 41% of the population is gone with Warcraft, and I believe it too, because you don't see anybody anymore in Shadowlands. If anyone's playing anything Warcraft, it's the Burning Crusade right now. But yeah, just really enjoying Final Fantasy. Oh, yesterday on my lunch break, my brother and my friend who's getting married next week reached out. My brother reached out and was like, "Hey, do you want to play some Warzone?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So I joined up with him, and I joined up with my friend. And I haven't talked to my buddy in a while. He's getting married next week. And we won 3 Warzones in a row.
Damn.
And that's never happened. And I haven't played in, I think, this year. Or, for a while this year. Like, it's been at least 3 or 4 months before I played a game. And so that was a blast. On my lunch break, we just won back-to-back. So that was cool. But yeah, other than that, just been super busy, still on my diet. So, everything's a trigger. I'm at the point now where, like, I'm good with, basically I have now gotten so used to eating the way I have, but damn, do I get cravings, like for still a hamburger or pizza or hibachi. So hopefully that goes away soon. But yeah, I'm down 27 pounds since the 9th.
Nice.
So
for in a month? For real?
in a month. Yeah,
Damn,
absolutely.
go, man.
It's It's insane. Yeah, like I looked up online like what people normally lose, and they're like a healthy person or a healthy weight to lose. I think per week is like a pound, and I'm like, fuck, I'm doing that like per day. So it's working. It really is working. Completely switching up my diet. I guess most people, it's like when you say, okay, switch up your diet, eat clean. It sounds easy on paper, but like I think most people still eat carbs. They still eat all this other stuff, and I've completely cut out carbs, all sugars. Um, it actually got a problem because I've been eating nothing really, pretty much, but fruits, vegetables, and approved proteins. But like now, for like a week or about a week and a half, I suddenly got all these fruit flies in my kitchen, and I clean up. Like when I eat, I put everything away. I put in the trash can. I guess I wasn't doing it too well the first week or two that I started this, and I would eat and then put everything away, and that's all it took to get like some fruit flies and stuff going around. So I had that problem for a little bit, got all that fixed up, but man, that was so annoying. Because for the longest time, I was not eating healthy. I wasn't eating right, so I never had that problem. I just had food delivered and showed up. I ate it and I threw it away.
Yeah.
But now prepping stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't leave that on the counter for 30 minutes because that'll attract flies or whatever.
Yeah,
I guess that come in from outside.
God, especially in Central Florida. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. So, but that got all fixed. I fixed all that. But yeah, dude, it's been good. And I'm also on this like close your rings challenge where once a day, essentially, I with my Apple Watch, I set a goal for how much I need to walk, how much I need to exercise, and I have to stand for 12 hours a day. So like you have to be up and moving around for like 1 to 5 minutes for 12 hours. And so far, every day this month, I've closed my rings.
Nice.
So hopefully by the end of the month, I think we get like something sent to us if we finish it. So I'm excited for that. So that's been my couple of weeks. Entertainment wise, mostly just Final Fantasy. Just been blowing through that stuff, having a blast. Yeah, once I switched to Samurai, I was like, oh my god, this is so much better than Black Mage.
Yeah,
But,
I couldn't I have to be physical. Like I couldn't do like just I couldn't do any kind of like just a mage. There's no way. I would burn through like my MP would be shot. Like there's no way. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I need something that's anchored physically. Like I can't do just a mage class.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the problem with the mage is the cooldown is so much longer than Warcraft. It's 2.5 minutes global cooldown. So you're casting a spell, waiting 2.5 seconds, casting another one, and the black mage is really simple. You burn through the fire, you switch, you burn through the ice. You switch, you burn through the fire, and there's some things in between, and it gets a little bit more complicated, but it takes so long to get anything going.
Yeah.
But with the samurai, it's a bunch of combos, and I got an MMO mouse, so like I have like 12 buttons on the side of it for my thumb, and it's just super easy to be like boop 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 and just combo everything. And I was just going through content. It got so bad that I've wave out leveled the content that I'm in. So I don't know. I'm waiting to get into the expansion. I want to unlock. I think it's Dark Knight. Yeah, the Dark Knight, or not the Death Knight, but the Dark Knight. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm gonna unlock that, and I like that you can just jump from job to job and press a button and boop, all your bars change, your gear changes, and I'm excited. So I'll be doing that probably for the next couple of weeks too.
Nice.
To the next podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip a little bit back into that here in the next few days. I'm taking a few days off in the middle of the week next week, so I'm excited. Mini vacation before summer gets going. My lady has planned a trip, and I was like, cool, where are we going? She said, you don't need to know that. And I said, okay.
Oh wow.
My orders are bring a nice outfit and swimming trunks. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So I'm down. Yeah, it's like 3 days. And I doubt we're going like we're not going to Vegas or anything. Like it's gonna be
Mhm.
just someplace we can drive to. But
Yeah.
that's as far as I know, and I'm good with that. It's like, all right, cool. It'll be a surprise. It'll be an adventure. And
Wait, did you say you're not driving to Vegas, or you're driving to
no,
Vegas?
we're
What was
not
that?
driving. That was
Oh, okay.
it'll be we're not going to Vegas because it'll be somewhere we're gonna drive to. So,
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
I mean, yes, technically you can drive to Vegas, but that's not going to happen.
Right, right, right. That's like if you move or something. That's
Yeah.
or like that's a vacation for at least a couple weeks.
That's
For
yeah,
sure.
because that's a road trip. That's a whole other thing. Oh, that's something. That speaking of road trips, that was something else I watched.
Mhm.
Have you seen on Netflix? Was it the Mitchells versus the Machines?
No,
Oh man, do you need to? It
look it
is.
up.
It
Yeah.
is so good. It's a Sony animation movie. Uh,
Oh, Danny McBride. That's funny.
it's very much in the style of there's a lot of like Into the Spider-Verse DNA in it.
Oh,
And a
okay.
lot of the sense of like we just wanted to make a fun movie. So
Okay.
it makes and then kind of breaks its own rules. Like it all works within the movie. Um,
Okay.
but it is hella fun. If you get time, absolutely watch that. That should be next on your list. It's so good.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw it
Yeah, I'll
on
check that out.
like I heard about it when it came out, and I just thought, oh well, you know, Netflix animated movie, whatever. And then I started seeing it on a bunch of like top 10 movies of the year so far. Like people are doing like first half of the year recaps, and it was number one on so many lists. I was like, what? This thing really? And I watched it, and I went, you know what? It may not be my personal number one. I haven't given it a ton of thought, but I get it. I absolutely like. I'm not gonna argue with it. People are like, it's the best movie of the year so far. I'm not gonna argue it. It's
Oh,
really
okay.
good because it's really fun. It's not just like, oh hey, they made a really good animated movie. It's a fun as hell movie. Like it's
Mhm.
really awesome.
Yeah, I mean these are from the Lego guys, right?
Yeah, it's Lord Miller. They're not. I think they produced it. I don't think they
Oh,
directed
okay.
it. But it
Gotcha.
definitely has a lot of that same kind of DNA to it too. It's
Yeah.
this. I think without the Lego Movie, I don't think this one gets made. Certainly not in the same way. But
Okay.
because you
So,
could definitely see a lot of their influence in it. But it's so good. It's so good.
oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it's directed by the guy who did Gravity Falls, Michael
Yeah.
Rihanna, something like that. But yeah, cool. Yeah, that's on Netflix. I'll definitely check that out. I have Netflix, so that's perfect. Oh
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. From the guys who brought you Spider-Man and Lego Movie. Okay, that makes sense. That's on
Yeah.
the poster. Okay. And this isn't from like a book or anything like that. It's just a fresh, brand new thing. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's really good. It is a it really is because the premise is the daughter's going to college and the dad is doing the dad thing of like we're gonna drive you across country to college because family road trip because I'm terrified of my child growing up kind of thing. Uh, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's the end of the world!" And then there's a robot uprising, and it's literally the end of the world. It's
Oh
it's
wow,
it's
that's great.
it's hilarious. It's so well written, and it's really clever. And it's funny as hell. But no, absolutely check it out. I genuinely can't recommend it enough. And it's because it's what for an animated movie, an hour and 40? Is it that long? I don't remember.
Ye
It's because I remember I think it's a little longer than like your standard movie is like animated movie is like 85 minutes. Oh damn, this one's almost 2 hours.
Oh wow,
But
yeah. Hour and 14
it
minutes.
moves like it moves along like it's really well paced. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely check out the Mitchells versus the Machines. It does live up to the hype, no doubt.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
But so that's it's I just the thinking about road trips made me think about that. So I was like, oh damn,
Oh
I
yeah.
need to talk about that for a second. But
Yeah, I'll put that on the list.
good
I'll
call.
watch that this week.
Good call.
Yeah.
do we have anything else, or shall we jump into les news, as they say in nowhere, because that's not actual French.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, so this was a week for trailers, or the last couple weeks for trailers. Did you check out any of these?
I'm not sure. Let me take a look
Yeah.
here. I saw Escape Room. I saw the Escape Room trailer.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Okay. Old is the next upcoming promising young disappointment from M. Night Shyamalan.
I did see that trailer.
Yeah, it's an interesting premise. It's gonna have the same problem as just about all of his movies. Here's a really neat idea. Let's see how we can screw it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know I'm gonna get roped into watching it, and prepared going in to be like, cool. Where's the disappointment coming? When do I get let down here?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it looks interesting, and that's the unfortunateness of it. The Escape Room sequel, I hate that they deliver that line in the trailer where he actually looks around and just goes, "What is this? A tournament of champions?" It's like, oh god, they put that in this movie, didn't they? Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. I immediately sent that to some people that I know that work at the Escape Room, and oh boy, did they love it.
It's, I mean, this is just a different version of Saw, basically.
Yep.
It was mildly clever the first time around. It wasn't great, but it's like I see what they went for here. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this looks like just more of the same, but bigger, and it's probably gonna wind up not being great.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but I don't know. I may yet be surprised, but I doubt it. Ron's Gone Wrong is the next Disney animated movie. It's basically it's like they said, hey, remember how everybody loved Baymax? Well, what if we took that same idea of a dorky AI companion and made it, person-sized and looking like a giant jelly bean, and the one the main character gets doesn't work right. So
okay.
It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Disney animated movie. Why the hell not?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically one of these where it's like, hey, you get your own personal little buddy. What is it? The Bee Buddy, I think they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the one that the main character gets is defective because he's, I don't know if they got it secondhand or what, but it's very clearly like we scrimped and saved and we got you this, and it's junk, but it's adorable junk.
Oh, okay.
It gets hit by a car at one point, and it just, he has to put it back together. It sounds awful when you put it that way, but it works in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay,
I'll give it a shot. Why not? It looks aware of what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
Last Night in Soho is going to be really interesting, and this of everything on this list, that's the trailer I think you should check out the most.
Wait, I think I did see this one. I did see this one.
Did you? Yeah, with the Edgar Wright time travel movie.
Edgar Wright. Yeah, it looked wild.
It's I'm excited.
Yes.
I mean, because first off, it's Edgar Wright. Like I will happily admit that you put his name on something, I'm there.
And I think I saw the trailer before knowing that, but I immediately was like, "Oh, this looks like an Edgar Wright film."
Yeah.
Just the way everything was centered.
Mm-hmm. He has a very distinctive style.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But that's gonna be good. Jungle Cruise got a new final trailer just to remind people it's coming out next month.
Yeah.
Because we forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
And Netflix. The next one is a Netflix animated movie. It's called America the Motion Picture. And
okay.
It's basically the group that did Archer decided to say, hey, let's have some fun with the just over ridiculousness. It's basically another version of Team America World Police. They were like, hey,
Okay.
let's take another swing at this kind of satire.
Okay.
And I'll give it a shot. It looks at least mildly amusing, if nothing
Yeah.
else. So we'll see what happens. Um, it might be way too sort of tongue in cheek, self referential, what have you, for my taste. But I'll
Yeah.
give it a shot. The trailer, at least, it's very much like this is it's self aware, and it's dumb. Um, there's I
I'm
mean
watching the trailer on mute, and they just went into a club called Vietnam.
yes.
What?
Yeah, and it's great because right before that, the main character, George Washington, still in period clothes. Uh, what he says to everybody is, "Well, I'm not going to ask you to go in there with me," and everybody just goes, "Oh, all right then, bye," and they all bounce.
Oh my god.
He shows
Wow.
up crashing through something in the trailer. I don't know if it's a ceiling or a wall or what, and
Yeah.
and whoever he's talking to is also like, this is back in colonial times, and he just goes, "Why didn't you take a car?" And the Washington character looks at him and just goes, "What the fuck is a car?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like, look, yes, it looks dumb. It sounds dumb, but it's a fun kind of dumb. And I'll give
Yeah.
it a shot. I may wind up just going, you know what? Nah, this is not my speed, but I'll give it a try. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Right.
it's
Yeah. Archer's great. So
but it's
there you go.
it'll be worth checking out. Yeah, when we when we get done, watch it with sound, because it's just
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, but you can tell it knows it's ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it doesn't lean too heavily into that. When you get self aware, there's a fine line, and
Yeah.
at least in the trailer, it looks like they know where that line is, but we'll
Hmm.
see. But I'm mildly curious. I won't say
Yeah.
excited. I'm curious about this.
For sure.
But I'll give that a shot. So not, out of all those, I think Escape Room is the one that I'm least excited for. It's kind of a toss up between that and Old, because at least Old has an interesting premise. It has a slightly newer ish kind of premise, which I guess is ironic. But it's M. Night Shyamalan. I'm gonna go in and 3/4 of the way through go, and now it's ruined.
Yeah.
But at least I know that going into it.
Hmm.
And who knows? This may be a time where it's not a bad surprise.
Right.
Not gonna hold my breath for that. But we did you see that they wrapped principal production on Thor: Love and Thunder?
Yeah, dude. Freaking. Yeah. Chris Hemsworth looks ripped.
Yeah, it's
Holy shit.
it's insane. It's like how much how much bigger and more bodybuildery can Thor look? Well, let's find out.
Yeah. Well, he's doing the Hulk Hogan movie, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
He's got to build those pythons, right?
Brush up on his racism.
Right. I wonder who's gonna play. I'm curious who's gonna play all the other characters. There's got to be a Macho Man Randy Savage in there, right?
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, I'm curious who else is gonna be in that movie.
Because
It,
we didn't have a whole lot of casting news about that yet, did we?
no, we haven't. Have they started shooting that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. Man,
It's
that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, especially since Todd Phillips is directing it.
Yeah.
Todd
Yeah.
Todd it cracks me up. His career arc is funny as hell. Because
Yeah.
he went from The Hangover to The Hangover Part 2 to The Hangover Part 3 to Joker.
Yeah.
That's a swing. That's a
Yep.
that's a big swing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we know nothing of this movie.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I wonder how they're going to do that. How they're going to shoot it, all the people. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did see the wrap up for Thor 4. Looks great. Can't wait for that. Thor 3 was one of my favorite Marvel movies, so
Oh, I mean,
yeah,
Ragnarok breathed a whole new life into that character.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think it was just because they looked at Chris Hemsworth and some of the stuff that he does and just went, you know what, this guy's actually funny. Like,
Yeah.
what if we let him just be Thor? And who do we
Right.
get to direct that? Well, we've got this New Zealand guy. He's a little weird.
Right.
He gets
Yeah, exactly.
he gets all the ladies. Uh, hey, you know what? Live your best lives, man. Cheers.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, but Ragnarok was fantastic. Cause I always they set the tone in the beginning when he's talking to Surtur and he's dangling on the chain and then spins around. He's like, and nope, wait, hang on, I'm coming back around. Give me a second. And
Right.
it's just awkward as hell, and you're just like, this is different for Thor. I'm down. It's not grand Shakespearean tragedy. It
Yeah.
is, but it's not presented that way.
Right.
It's
Right.
oh so good, so good, so good, so good. Um, they put out a new teaser image from the Flash movie that is apparently still getting made. Uh, with
Yeah.
everything, the production issues and the new writers and the new directors and the new everything that's going on with that movie. They released a picture from the centerpiece of Michael Keaton's Batsuit.
Yes.
So basically confirming that he's in the movie. So it's like
And it had
I
Watchmen vibes. The
yeah, yeah, it's got a little bit of blood
the
on it.
yeah. I was like, oh, interesting.
But I'm just curious to see how they decide to tackle because they're obviously going to be doing multiverse stuff in this.
Hmm.
So I wonder how they're going to do it. Or is he just going to pop up in different worlds and they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, you're. And Michael Keaton's going to turn to the camera and just go, yeah, I'm Batman. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh yeah. You know
cool,
that's gonna
thanks.
happen.
Thanks, Mike. Here's your $1 million. Like,
No, I think he'll be in it more. The thing is he's obviously going to play his old, like the original Batman, right?
yeah.
I'm wondering if they go wild with this. Do we see like my thought process was, oh, that kind of looks like the Watchmen. Oh wait, Batman and the Flash had a story called The Button with the blood splattered on the button, and that's when the alternate universe Batman showed up, and it was Thomas Wayne as Batman. And I thought, well, that would be cool if we saw Thomas Wayne. I don't know. My mind went all over the place when I saw that.
He
It's probably just old Batman
it's
showing up.
it's just gonna be old Michael Keaton Batman. You, I
But I
you're
think it would be interesting if we did see a few alternate universes in it. That's all I'm saying. But
you're
yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
have you seen the DC film universe? You are giving them way too much creative credit here.
Well, I mean, this is going to be called Flashpoint, right?
It's gonna be called The Flash, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, I thought they were actually doing Flashpoint.
They've talked about that's what they're doing, but that wasn't what they were gonna call it. At least not
Okay.
officially yet. They
Okay.
they may change that, but who knows?
I mean, that would actually be pretty rad because everyone likes Wonder Woman. The last movie, not so much, but they want to see more of her. Everyone seemed to enjoy Aquaman. Like, you could totally do a Flashpoint movie. And those are some of the best things about the DC universe that people enjoyed. Wouldn't be a bad idea to do something like that, but I guess they'll probably just take the title like they do with a lot of the X-Men movies.
Yeah. It's like it's
Um,
about this thing. But yeah, except it's not. What you have done is nothing like the
right.
and in fairness, I mean Age of Ultron did the same thing. You know,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
that
Yeah.
movie had nothing to do with the comic storyline other than it had Ultron in it.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not particularly optimistic, just because
Yeah.
it's a DC mainline film. Um,
Hmm.
but we'll see. I really want it to not suck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Same here.
into things that we know won't suck. John Wick 4 has added Donnie Yen to its cast,
Oh, nice.
which means there's going to be a whole lot of ass kicking going on,
Hell yeah.
like there wasn't going to be already. Uh,
Right.
but I'm all for that. It's I'm one with John Wick, and John Wick is with me. Like
Right.
let's bring it. We're down.
Exactly.
Let's do it. God, those are movies I could just watch over and over again. They're so good.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I
Uh,
agree.
oh, and speaking of Spider Verse from earlier, Issa Rae has joined the Spider Verse 2 cast as Jessica Drew.
Oh, okay.
Officially adding Spider Woman to the
Oh
to the
yeah.
film.
I saw that. That's cool.
So that'll be neat. That'll be very neat. I want to see like who else do they bring in? Do we get Spider-Man Noir back? Do we get Nick Cage back just for a little bit?
Oh yeah. I
I,
think so.
I would absolutely love to see him back and that Rubik's cube be solved.
Hmm. I
I
would
would,
be surprised if we got a whole new set of Spider people, but yes, I think people would love to see that.
yeah. I definitely think they're gonna add. I don't think they're going to give us the same cast plus some more. I think it's going to be basically it's him and Gwen, and then throw in a couple of extra new ones, and
Hmm.
maybe a brief return from somebody.
Yeah. I yeah, I think so too. I mean, I we probably get this PlayStation Spider-Man
I'd be all right
in
with
there, I
that.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would definitely be interesting.
Hmm.
Um, in related news, Sony is moving ahead with a standalone Kraven the Hunter movie, and they cast Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
Have to admit, I did not see that coming.
Exactly. Um I was thinking, how do you do a Craven movie without Spider-Man?
Well,
And
the same
the
way
only
you,
thing I could think of,
the same kind of way you do a Morbius movie. These guys
well,
have a backstory. You can do.
not Craven. I
Eh,
mean, Craven's only fame is that he hunted and killed the Spider-Man.
yeah, but
Nothing else that he's done is anything to talk about. So what I was thinking, my thought process was, they're probably not going to use Spider-Man because for some dumb reason. I hope they do. That would be really dumb if they don't. But what if he saw the Venom on news and he decided he was going to hunt Venom? I thought that could totally work.
yeah, not gonna happen.
So you're just gonna have a guy that just loves hunting. Like, let's just make a movie called Kraven the Hunter where he loves hunting. We are not gonna have any spider people in it, and he's a real big asshole. The end. Like, what do you do with Kraven the Hunter besides have him hunt something?
You make him. You start the. You do a bit of an Iron Man with him, where, not in terms of making him a hero, but instead of oh, he's a big game hunter and this and that, and has whatever experience, blah blah blah, etc etc, turns to conservationist of sorts, not a hero, not we're not going to make him a good guy, but make him a slightly more sympathetic character. Not you're not. I'm not getting away from yes, he is still a hunter, but give it more of the, he went from just a big game hunter to now someone who is between, and work in the old potions and elixirs and what have you. Like, I think that's, I not everything has to be brand new cutting edge science. Like, be a little hokey with it. It's a hokey. Kraven the Hunter is a hokey character. For
Tell me a story besides Kraven the Last Hunt that involves Kraven the Hunter.
I, off the top of my head, I couldn't. And
That's my point. Like,
you're not
what are
wrong.
you doing, Sony? What the fuck are you doing? Like, that to me, it's like, what are you doing? You have all these characters, and you're not using Spider-Man with them.
I think
For
that's
what reason?
but that's the challenge though, is to build these characters without. Like, can you do these movies without relying on Spider-Man? And I think that's the key word there is relying on Spider-Man.
And that's the thing. They have this thing in their head that they have to do that, and they don't. They don't. It's made up. They're doing it themselves for no reason.
Yeah, but I like the idea of not
And that's
needing
why.
Spider-Man.
And that's why I never know the Morbius movie exists until someone talks about it.
That's fair.
And then 5 minutes later, it's gone. It's what Schrodinger's cat. Like, it's gone. It doesn't exist to me because that's how important that character is. I guess it's just, to me, it's just so. It's such a missed opportunity that I have a feeling that 10, 20 years from now, they're going to look back and go, "What the fuck were they doing?" I mean, Venom kind of worked. I get that. And hats off to them for making that work. But Venom is also probably one of the most fleshed out characters in Spider-Man's universe, right?
Fair.
Kraven the Hunter is not.
No, I definitely think that Morbius as a side character on his own has a much more compelling story that you can build a story around than
Morbius,
Kraven the Hunter.
Absolutely. Morbius, totally. But Kraven the Hunter, his entire plot is I'm killing. It's kind of like Doomsday. If they made a movie about Doomsday and they didn't have Superman and he landed on Earth, what would he do? What would be his story? It doesn't exist.
Here's the way I would go about this. If you told me you have to make a Kraven the Hunter movie, you can't use Spider-Man. Okay. So let's blend the.
I would first say that's bullshit, but then go ahead.
Fair. I would say, okay, then I'm gonna start him off as the ultimate universe's Kraven the Hunter, who was a reality show, jackass, and not a fraud, but grossly over promoted himself and overhyped himself. Yeah. And then something happens. Introduce conflict here. He winds up, lost somewhere or stranded somewhere on an actual, it's like, well, the big scandal being, is Kraven actually a hunter? Is this all an act? Blah, 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 blah. So he goes off into, he's down, take your pick. Throw this setting wherever in the deepest back jungles or plains or whatever. Throw it somewhere in probably Africa, because that's where the big game is, and something goes wrong. He gets lost, his crew gets eaten, whatever. This is where your tragedy happens. He stumbles into a camp, and there is I don't want to lean into the idea of and he finds the old, shaman type character who gives him the elixirs and what have you. I know that's the story, but and that can be done in a way that works. Especially because Kraven is not a standard American character. Something else that I think needs to be slightly emphasized is that kind of Eastern European-ness to him. That I think gets lost a lot, and discovers something about him somewhere in here is where he goes from Kraven the headline grabbing reality star, who doesn't really have much of a clue what he's doing. Maybe he has a slight. He's not Kraven the Hunter, but he's fine. He's done some big game hunting. He got famous, blah blah blah, whatever. And then here he discovers, this is what it means to be a hunter, and make him slightly more sympathetic, I think. And this has the pitfall of potentially turning into a a conservationist kind of movie, and I don't really want that because that's not that character. Like, that's not his point. But I feel like that's the trap they would wind up sliding down. But I think you break him down kind of like a Tony Stark Doctor Strange, but without the talent. You know.
Yeah, but see, my thing is you gotta have a hook. But what I would do is have him go after like someone like the Lizard or somebody, right? Like if you're gonna set up this character, you have to have him go after a big game, right?
I agree. And that's
maybe Morbius, maybe, but it has to be like an animal, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Morbius is kind of a bat.
Yeah, I don't think that quite works.
No, but the Lizard would be perfect. You have him go after the Lizard, and if you don't want Spider-Man getting involved, fine. But like that's how I would do it, and I would totally involve Spider-Man at the end. But I guess the studio doesn't. I mean, are they setting up the Sinister Six? Is that the whole point of this? They're like, we're gonna do what the Marvel Universe did, but I feel like Hollywood always has to put their shit in it. They see something that works, and they're like, no, we're going to put this here. We're going to take our shit and we're just going to squeeze it into that because we got to make it a little bit different because we can't be like those funny books, right? We just got to put our shit in it. And so when they're like, hey, I can do a Kraven the Hunter's movie, but I'm going to do it better. I'm going to put my shit in it. And instead of going, oh, that works. People love the Kraven's Last Hunt. That's an amazing story. And probably ever since the first Spider-Man movie, people were like, it'd be really cool if they had Kraven's Last Hunt sort of storyline in one of these movies. And Hollywood's going, yeah, but wouldn't it be cooler if there was no Spider-Man?
I think that
everyone goes,
I think the problem with all of this is there's only so many Spider-Man movies that you can make at a time.
Well, it's very simple. Spider-Man is perfect to do because he's fully masked. He doesn't have to be in the story too much. He also doesn't have to be like the thing that saves the day at the very end. You know what I mean? Like it can be very a footnote in the movie, but those footnotes matter, and I think it makes it a little bit more exciting when it feels like they're a part of that universe. And that's the thing. You can totally get away with not doing Spider-Man, but have it be the Lizard. Have it be Venom. Like, Venom is crazy looking. Imagine thinking, I can take down the biggest game in the world, and you see something like Venom eating people in New York City. Or, I'm sorry, San Francisco. Boom. Hop a ticket. Get a flight over there. Suddenly you have a Kraven's movie, and he's hunting down Venom.
Yeah, but then it's not a Kraven movie anymore. It's a Venom movie.
Oh, but no, but you have him as like, it would be cool to see it all reverse, where you hardly see Venom. Venom is this monster that he's hunting down. And maybe at the very end of the movie, you have Venom fully there. But like, you don't have it Tom Hardy's perspective. It's completely Kraven's perspective. I don't know.
I'm on board with what you're saying, but
I'm just curious how they're going to do it.
But the way the studio, at least the executives, are going to look at it, they're going to say, so it's a Venom movie. We already have one of those. Do something different. That's how that's going to get responded to.
Well, then you do the Lizard, I guess.
That's an interesting idea. And
yeah, you have the Lizard.
Yeah, and it's another way to introduce another of Spider-Man's rogues. And it doesn't necessarily set up Kraven as a quote-unquote good guy. It doesn't make him a hero that he's hunting the Lizard. He can be doing it for the big game of it or whatever. He doesn't have to be altruistic about it.
Right.
But also you're not making him an anti-hero at the same time. Like he's not a Kratos who's on a righteous quest, but he's just an asshole about it.
Right.
No, you can.
But he could totally be a Loki type character. That's the thing.
True.
Like his own self-interest. He's not necessarily evil. He just has his own. He's a hunter. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily want to kill anybody, and you can make it totally back about that. Hey, look, I love humans. I'm not trying to kill anybody. but I'm gonna fucking get that lizard. Like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, he can be all about, like, that is a menace. I have to get that, like, and in his own head, he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of people think when they see, like, a bear just attacked this village. We really need to go kill the bear, kind of thing, or whatever, a lion or whatever. So I don't know. That would be interesting. That's how you do a Kraven movie, I guess. And like you said, that would be a perfect way to. Now we have some more established characters in this universe, but ultimately, I think we'll get a bit. We need to find out where the Venom movie is. If any of these are connected, these are all still big question marks. They have yet to answer.
Well, hang on. We know that Morbius is, because Vulture is in the trailer.
Morbius is where?
In the Spider-Man universe. Like, he exists in the MCU.
Yeah, but they show the Spider-Man from the PlayStation in the Morbius trailer.
Yeah, but they also have, like, they have Michael Keaton as Vulture talking to him in that trailer.
Is he? I completely forgot about that trailer.
Yeah, he's the one.
Okay, so we know Morbius is in the Spider. We know that Morbius is in the MCU.
Yes, that one we know. Venom, I don't believe is. I don't. Yeah. We don't. They're very deliberate in not mentioning it, and I think there's a freedom in that, because then you're not tied to. Well, we have to exist within the bounds of this universe.
Right.
But you could have also had, like, that's the thing about the story in Venom, at least in the Venom movie, could absolutely have happened within the MCU, because it happened over a span of a few days, and it wasn't a big deal until it was over and it happened. Like, the Avengers are not going to hear about that. Like, there's nothing that is explicitly tying it to the universe, while it's also not making sure to distance itself from it. It exists. They can retcon that one way or the other.
Yeah, it was in that weird time where they didn't know where Spider-Man was going to land.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're being very cautious about letting anything out of the bag. We probably won't find out until Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man movie this year, right? Where what's going to happen to him?
Yeah.
And probably we'll find out once we know about Tom Holland's contract and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because that's another thing of, like, where, because I mean Sony has the rights to everything Spider-Man, and that's why we're getting all of these different movies. But it's such a weird setup that, like, is it in the same universe or not? And I'm okay with ambiguity. Because that gives them an out either way. Oh, hey, we actually do get to play in this sandbox. And because imagine trying to tie all of this together. Like, Spider-Man right now, I understand why he's not involved in any of these movies, because he's involved in all his own shit. And I love the idea that at the end of No Way Home, he gets everything sorted and what have you, and it's, because this is clearly the biggest crisis Spider-Man has personally faced, etc., etc., and he gets that breath, this is done, this is over, fantastic, and then, bang, he gets hit with the Sinister Six, because that's the old Parker luck. He can't catch a break. He doesn't get to rest, and I feel like you can have and end the narrative arc that he's on. His MCU movies have a very distinct narrative arc, and that needs to be resolved before you can start throwing these other characters in the mix and these other conflicts at him. And I think the wrong thing to do is, No Way Home is over, great, done, and the next movie immediately be a Sinister Six movie. I think you have to have something, you have to have one to bridge the gap and build to a Sinister Six. I don't think it takes another trilogy. I think you take the next Spider-Man movie to connect it to all of these spin-offs, and then you do a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah.
I think you need one. You just need one to bridge the gap and say, oh, wait, here's this other crap that's going on. And that's when you introduce, like a Sandman or something like that. Or Electro or something. I know what they're doing in No Way Home. I don't want to talk about it. But there's.
Oh, I have no idea. I know Electro's going to be in it, right? But
It's Jamie Foxx's Electro by all indications and reports.
from what I understand, I don't know if this is a spoiler. I was reading that it's not going to be the same one that we saw on screen.
Okay, so it
is Jamie Foxx's Electro, but
the same actor playing the same role but different.
From what I understand, yes.
Oh,
wait, do we have a list of who's officially in this movie and who's rumored, or no?
Jamie Foxx.
Or do you know off the top of your head? Okay.
I know that Jamie Foxx is official, and we know that Alfred Molina is official because he's talked about that.
Okay.
Other than that, we don't know. We don't know if the other Spider-Men and all that are in it officially or not.
Now, if we could refresh my memory real fast, or our memory, I should say, you probably know. The last we saw Dr. Ock, he was floating underwater, right? When the thing came down?
Fairly certain.
On top of him?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that Doc Ock died.
Okay. Either died or something like boop happened to him, right? Because that was the last we saw him.
Right.
Electro, how did he die again? Because that was more forgettable. Spider-Man 2 was fucking awesome. I've seen that a million times, but it's been years. But the Amazing Spider-Man, granted, I've seen probably a couple times.
Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was not so great.
Yeah.
Arrested, maybe? I swear, I have only seen this movie once.
Oh, he didn't die. Interesting. So he didn't die.
I don't believe so.
I guess I'm gonna have to revisit these movies at some point. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Sometime this week I'll watch these again. Yeah. That's interesting. Or maybe in my head I heard the news reversed. Maybe it's the Doc Ock we're getting is not the same Doc Ock, but Jamie Foxx is. So I don't know. Maybe I heard it just in my head. It reversed it.
Yeah. We don't have anything official about what. I mean, we're gonna obviously we're gonna need to wait for a trailer.
And I think the Peter Parkers have said we're not in it, and Gwen and Mary Jane have both said we're not in it, right?
Yeah. But,
okay.
We'll have to wait and find out just how true that is.
Right.
But it also depends on. Yeah, but it also depends on what they're doing. We're assuming multiverse because of everything that's going on, but who actually knows?
Yeah, and I remember Tom Holland saying this is the most ambitious superhero movie he's ever been part of, even though our single superhero movie, which obviously was an Endgame and whatnot, and Infinity War, that was probably the most ambitious by far, and it paid off so well. But I could see this being on the scale of like Civil War, where we do see a lot of cameos. I'm not thrilled about the director, but I don't know. This could be interesting. This could be really good. I love timey-wimey universe hopping stuff, so that could be fun. I think they saw the people love Spider-Verse. Like, that hit really well, and I just hope they don't take the wrong notes from it. Yeah. Because as fun as that was with all the extra Spider-Man and stuff, that movie had such good heart, pacing, story, everything just fit well in it. You can't just go, let's do a bunch of Spider-Man and it works, because it could be really bad. Yeah. I just hope we don't get Spider-Man 3 is all I'm saying.
What do you not like about the director?
The first Spider-Man movie, good. Second, great. Third, terrible. And the first two, when you watch them back, they show their age. And I guess that's the last thing I've seen from him, right? I haven't seen anything recent.
Are we talking about Sam Raimi?
Yeah.
Okay, when did we start talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? John Watts is still doing Spider-Man.
I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm not thrilled about the director of Doctor Strange then. Okay, my bad. Why in my head did I think he was directing this? You're right. He's totally doing Doctor Strange. Okay. Yeah. So ignore everything I just said. Yeah, I'm not thrilled about him doing Doctor Strange. Then when I heard that, for some reason in my head, I just thought he was doing Spider-Man 3. But you're right. I'm not thrilled about Doctor Strange's director. Anyway, moving on.
But we'll see what happens. But I still think that if they work out whatever deal it is they need to work out, and I think that they will, because there's too much money on the table for Marvel to say no, you can't. We're not going to be doing a shared universe anymore. But I think Sony gets the leverage of saying, and I think that's why they're making all of these Spider-Man adjacent movies, is a way of saying, we can build our own universe. Look at what we've done. We have built our own universe. So that gives them some leverage. And it incentivizes Marvel to play ball. To say, all right, look, you guys are doing a thing here. We respect that. And okay, you guys, and it also gives us narratively a break of, we can have Spider-Man without worrying about what he's doing in the broader scope of the MCU. We can get back to friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, that'd be great.
But there's, have one movie to bridge the gap. Whatever happens at the end of No Way Home, have one movie that sort of that sets up the idea of the Sinister Six. There's it's Electro, it's Sandman, it's Rhino. Rhino would be a good get. I like that. But whatever. And it's like, but this is different. At the end of the movie, it's like, oh hey, we've there seems to be this kind of like uptick. This was much more well coordinated. What the hell is going on? Q. Vulture, who looks like he's in charge of putting the Sinister Six together, if the Morbius movie is any indication to go by. But see what happens, and that's the way you do it. You don't need a whole big setup. You don't have to have a whole other trilogy that ends with the Sinister Six. Just give us one movie to bridge the gap, and then do Sinister Six. I think it's the best way to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who were the original Sinister Six again?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that, because I can never remember the lineup.
So it had been Mysterio, Electro, Vulture, Kraven,
that's
Sandman.
So that's where you lose me. The original group. Here we go: Doc Ock, Vulture, Electro, Mysterio, Sandman, Kraven.
Perfect. Okay. Yep. That's what you do.
We've had Vulture, we've had Mysterio, who may or may not be dead, depending on your point of view there. We're getting Kraven. We're apparently getting Doc Ock. So that leaves Sandman and Electro.
Yeah, all you gotta do is have his Sinister Six just be from different universes. That'd be pretty rad.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, like a multiverse Sinister Six.
Multiversal Sinister Six. I like it.
Mm-hmm. And you pull a Mysterio that's a little bit different. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. That could be fun. that would be cool. You pull a Mysterio from a different universe. Yeah. Oh wait, he's not dead, is he?
Yes, maybe, possibly.
He is.
Might not be.
He is. That's right. Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't know. Smoke and mirrors. So yeah, that would be interesting if this is the sort of setup to that towards the end of the film. Yeah, that would be great. Get them all together. Just pull them from different universes.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, yeah. Can you hear the lawnmower outside?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh my god, perfect timing.
I know, right? Isn't it always the way?
Yeah.
But
maybe we should switch to recording at night sometime.
Yeah.
Do you work every night?
Weekends.
Weekends. Okay.
Yeah, basically Friday. I'm usually Friday through Monday because they're long shifts. Like I'm usually there like 5 to 2. Like I'm there for a hot minute.
Yeah, we picked prime lawn mowing time, so sorry about that. Yeah. My bad. Maybe we should switch tonight. It might be more exciting. I know you're busy next week. Maybe after that.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, E3 is this weekend, isn't
it? E3 is this weekend. Yeah, we'll talk about that here coming up in a bit. I got to pull up the schedule to take a look at, but.
I'm so excited about the Spider-Man movie now, knowing that the director is not who I thought it was.
Yeah, it's John Watts. It's the same.
Yeah,
His trajectory is great. He did Spider-Man, then he did
yeah,
Spider-Man. Now he's doing Spider-Man, and then his fourth MCU movie, he's doing the Fantastic Four. So,
right. No, I'm excited. Oh, that's perfect. That's cool. Oh man.
by the way, there's your setup at the end of No Way Home. I'll guarantee you.
Yeah.
Because
That.
that's your direct tie-in. Like you go from Spider-Man to the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Set up the future foundation. Oh, it'd be great. I
But
can't wait for Fantastic Four. I think that's gonna be good. Um, the Fantastic Four always gives. I don't know why I always think of hope when I think of them. Maybe it's because of all the future stuff they deal with or whatever. But like, I really dig the Fantastic Four in the Marvel universe. Um, I'm excited for that. I think
yeah.
that's gonna be great.
No, I
Um,
think that's fair. It's absolutely
yeah.
fair.
Oh yeah. So where were we, dude? Well, yeah, Kraven the Hunter. Yeah.
Kraven the
So
Hunter.
great pick.
Speaking of things that Sam Raimi is affiliated with, they're doing a new Evil Dead movie over at HBO Max.
Okay.
It's called Evil Dead Rise, and it's going to ignore the reboot, which I think
Really?
is kind of sad. I actually enjoyed the reboot, um, but it's going to follow up from the original trilogy, but it's not going to have Ash in it. They told his story with Ash versus Evil Dead. That is over. So they are moving on.
Well, isn't that the hook of the whole thing? Bruce Campbell?
Well, how do you
Oh, speaking of Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man, okay.
exactly, exactly.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know. We'll
Interesting.
see. It'll be different, and I think that's why it is an HBO. It's not one of their like dual release theater HBO Max things. It's just HBO Max. At least here in the States, it's just HBO Max. I think it gets a limited uh, theatrical release over in the UK.
Okay.
But for all intents and purposes, it's an HBO Max exclusive.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. That'll be interesting. I'm mildly excited about that.
Yeah.
Uh, and in news that came out of far, far left field yesterday, we found out what Rob Zombie's next movie is.
Okay.
The Munsters.
Okay.
You remember the Munsters?
Oh, I remember the monsters, but that with Rob Zombie? That's
And,
kind of
and not in a zombie way. Like it's going to be in a Munsters. It's not going to be like Rob Zombie presents the Munsters, and
that's what I'm thinking. Like,
Eddie's
oh my
going to
God,
be biting people in elementary school. No, I think
right.
it's going to be a the Munsters movie. I'm really curious to see Rob Zombie do like a family friendly kind of film.
Yeah,
Like,
that's gonna be interesting.
I really am. Now I may have to eat my words. Who knows? It may turn out that that's not what's happening at all. But
Hmm.
I don't think you take something like the Munsters and say, you know what this needs? This needs like an almost NC-17 film. Like no,
Yeah.
you just don't.
No, that would be terrible.
But so
Yeah.
I no I definitely think it's going to be a because I didn't see anything to say otherwise about like no it's
Hmm.
actually but I no I think it's going to be it is a film reboot that he's working on and I this is okay
Yeah.
all right but let's see here. Rumors true, but yeah, it's just announced that he's doing it. He announced it on Instagram. Those rumors are true. My next film project be one I'm chasing for 20 years. He's doing the monsters. Stay tuned for exciting
Hmm.
details as things progress. I I think that I really do think it's going to stick to being a family friendly movie, which is going to be hilarious to see Rob Zombie attached to that.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
no, well, stranger things have happened.
That's true. Stranger Things has happened.
I walked right into that. I'm telling you, there was a giant neon sign that said that, and I walked
Yeah.
smack face first into it. God damn it.
Exactly. Yep.
Ugh.
He would be fun to direct an episode of Stranger Things, I think. Like,
Yeah.
just one episode.
Yes, he would. Yes, he very, very much would.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Cool.
We in other reboot movie news, Seth Rogen is doing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reboot for Nickelodeon.
Yeah, dude, he's just been all over comic books, man.
Hey, more power to him. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, animated Ninja Turtles for Nickelodeon? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But that's and it's already got a release date. It's like we announced this thing. It's coming out August 11th, 2023. I guarantee you it gets delayed at least 4 times.
Yeah.
And maybe not always delayed. Maybe moved back up at least once too. But
yeah. Now, do we know what the turtles look like? Have they showed any kind of
no
animation? Okay.
No, there is nothing.
I wonder if they're gonna go the traditional route with the the different color bands, the traditional animation, or if they could go 2 other ways. They could go the newer one where they all look very different, almost anime style, or the older one where they all have the red hand, like the old comic, like the original comic. I'm curious what they do.
Yeah.
I imagine someone like Seth Rogen would want to go with the cartoonish ones. Like Mikey is the orange and he loves pizza. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
one.
I think the
original cartoon.
The turtles that you think of when you think of the turtles. At
Right.
least our generation anyway.
Exactly, yeah. I hope they just do the new IDW run. Like, that would be perfect.
Fair.
Like, if that would be that would be more of a TV show than a movie.
Yeah.
But the origins, the way they kind of change everything in that is really good. Yeah. They're doing Last Ronin right now with the TMNT comic, which is dope.
Yeah.
Good shit.
But the Rock announced, because he's doing all manner of DC related projects. He put an Instagram post showing the cast for the animated DC League of Super Pets, which I was excited for until I saw that there's like one person on there who's done regular voice work. I am so goddamn tired of all these animated movies that do not have voice actors in them. I am over it. I am so done with it. Unless there is a direct point to it. Unless you have a role that is very clearly, it could only be this person. Yeah. And look, if you come in, like, I'm not knocking any of the actors in. I mean, the cast is stacked as hell. It's The Rock, Kevin Hart, Kate McKinnon, John Krasinski, Diego Luna, Keanu Reeves, Natasha Lyonne, Vanessa Bayer. Like, it's a cast. I am not knocking the talent. It reminds me, and this is a weird pull from not a brony, but when the My Little Pony movie came out a few years ago, we put up the posters, because it was one of the first posters that I put up outside, because it came out not long after I started at my theater job. And the names that were on that poster were all the actors / celebrity guest cameos. Not one of the voice actors who made the jump from the show to the movie was on that poster. Not one. And it pissed me off. And this,
that's bullshit. That's fucked up.
And this to me is more of that, where it's like, like, I understand. Like, if you're gonna have, I mean, Kate McKinnon.
Sometimes it works. I know you haven't seen Invincible, but J.K. Simmons is perfect in that role.
And that's the thing where it's like there's genuine cognitive dissonance here, where I look at some movies, and there are plenty of animated movies that I do thoroughly enjoy that do not have, voice actors in them. And
Right.
yeah, it makes me sound a bit like a hypocrite, and I'm willing to accept that. But I am just
Well,
so
I think there's a difference between someone, what do you call it? Where you're, what do you call it? Gating, where you're like, they can't come in here, right?
yeah.
And that's not what you're saying. You're
It's
just saying like these people, to not give the voice actors credit and the respect, like you said, that example you just gave about the movie,
yeah.
what was it, My Little Bronies or whatever, Ponies?
The My Little Pony movie, and it just and
Oh
that,
my God, did I just call it bronies?
yes, you did.
Jesus Christ! But like you give the main cast the credit and respect they deserve, but you're like, oh, we got to put the star's name on it. It's so dumb.
Yeah. And
And
I'm not sitting here saying that you have to be a voice actor to be in an animated movie.
exactly,
I don't want to sound like I'm
'cause
gatekeeping or any of that crap. But
we
there are
we would never get people like Mark Hamill, right? If that was the case.
exactly.
So, right.
But
But when, yeah.
it just doesn't. It constantly seems like when when animated movies are being done, they look at who are the big actors we can get instead of who are great voice actors who will do this talent. Now, it's not to say that all of them are terrible. I'm not. There are plenty of examples of like they got an actor who wasn't a voice actor and they did a great job. But there's a great example in all of this here. And it's somebody I want to look at, and it's Kate McKinnon, who is somebody who has the kind of versatility to do this. That's someone that I can see executives sitting around and going, who would be great to do this kind of role? And you get somebody like Kate McKinnon, because it reminds me of Steve Carell as Gru in the Despicable Me movies. Where, yes, they went after an actor, but it very clearly worked. And I don't hate that, but I look at a cast like this, and it makes me immediately just think they didn't even bother with voice actors, I feel like.
Oh yeah, no. When the entire thing is just filled with it, instead of one or two, you have the entire thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, some people that really take me out of an animated is like Kevin Hart. He's just doing Kevin Hart. I feel whenever I hear him animated.
Yeah, it's like Chris Rock in the Madagascar movies. He was just Chris Rock. It wasn't a character. It was literally just Chris Rock.
Right. But I feel like, on the other hand, like I feel like The Rock, when I heard him in Mona, is great.
Moana.
Mona. What the fuck is wrong with me today? Sorry, we did. Good Lord, we hit a reset button. It's too early.
It's before. That's right. It's before noon. That's right.
Mona,
I told you.
Lord, that's a different movie. So anyway, Moana. He's great in that. I was listening to that song the other day, and I was like, this guy keeps getting away with it. Like he just, there's nothing he cannot do.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you, dude. Like there are so many great voice actors. So much talent to just go, oh no, let's just throw all these celebrities, Keanu Reeves and all these different people in it that is going to immediately take you out of it. You're going to, so I don't know. One or two is fine. You know what I mean? Like one or two is okay. I completely agree. Like it's Into the Spider-Verse, Nicolas Cage, like it didn't take me out of it because it fit. It was one. There's only a couple that are to me really big in that movie,
right? And
that stand out.
Yeah. And there's a great example of where they didn't stunt cast. They didn't just say, well, we have to get such and such celebrity, except for where it works. Nicolas Cage in the role that he's in works. John Mulaney in the role that he's in works. And I get it. Shamik Moore, Mahershala Ali, even Haley Steinfeld are not voice actors per se. They also didn't have, in the case of Shamik and Haley in particular, a big theatrical resume. So you couldn't look at them and go, well, they're clearly actors and now they're dabbling into voice acting. No, they're
not Kevin Hart.
Yeah. And I
who
mean,
arguably has one of the most recognizable voices on the planet right now. When you hear Kevin Hart, you know it's Kevin Hart. There's no,
exactly.
yeah,
And I think that's something else that plays a part of it, is that Kevin Hart is great at doing Kevin Hart things.
right,
Absolutely. No question whatsoever. When he's playing basically, The Rock's sidekick, he
yeah,
does it really well. I take absolutely nothing away from him. But as soon as he starts talking, you go, "Oh, that's Kevin Hart."
mm-hmm.
Like immediately,
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't.
I am glad to see The Rock getting just knee deep in DC stuff. I cannot wait for Black Adam.
Yeah.
Um, all the hype for that dude, the poster, what was it? Was it a poster? Or was it like a still of him? Um, him talking about the character. I'm like, everything he said, I'm like, he gets it.
Yeah.
The Rock totally understands that character. How, he was a slave and then he was, was the leader of his people. He just happened, and then he was given the power of the gods, and then he got dark. And like, I'm like, this is totally, like, he totally gets it. I feel like that's a movie where they're not going to put their shit in it. They're going to let it be what it is. I can't wait for that. But yeah, when I saw the news, I was like, okay, these are all giant celebrities in the Pets movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my thing is, how are you going to have a DC animated movie and not have Tara Strong in it? How?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yes, exactly.
It bugs me because when you look at a voice cast list and it's just celebrities and more well-known and established actors, that just says to me that that there wasn't real consideration given to, hey, maybe we should have actual voice actors come in for voice acting. That's what bothers the hell out of me about all that.
Tara Strong, Kevin Conroy, like, there are just established voice actors for DC movies that would be fantastic. But you're right. I think it's because The Rock is it's a good thing and a bad thing with him, right? Because
where The Rock goes, Kevin Hart follows.
Kevin Hart follows, and probably in his head he's thinking, we got to go big or go home. And in his head, the big is these people that they got. Who knows? I'm guessing. Wait, his production companies probably is the one doing this, right?
I mean, I'm sure it's involved. When you get The Rock, you get was it $7 production?
$7, yeah. So that's why. Well, oh man, yeah, maybe it is. It's got to be.
Yeah, but I wonder just how much actual sway that gives him overall. I don't think it's that much.
I think it does, dude. I think when the Rock walks into a room, he gets what he wants with a lot of these studios. I can't think of a bigger actor that has more pull right now than The Rock in Hollywood.
Yeah,
everything he touches. I mean, some things don't do as well, but there's a high chance that it's going to succeed somewhere with his stuff. I can't think. I don't know a person on this planet that doesn't like The Rock. Ask any walk of life, I think, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, The Rock. I like The Rock." All different demographics, all different, old, young, all different. Like, who doesn't like The Rock?
Yeah.
It's his charisma. It's his, like, he is. I don't know. I maybe that's just my own head canon, but I think he walks in a room and he says what he wants, and they go, "Okay, we'll do it. Let's make it happen." And I'm thinking that's kind of what happened with this. He wanted big name actors, I'm assuming, and not, the established, animated voices that you always hear in DC animated, which are great. Like, whenever people talked about DC animation, they put it in the same level people used to talk, or people used to talk about DC animation the same level people talk about live action Marvel, right?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, Marvel's got the live action movies, but DC's got them beat for sure 100% with the movies for the animated ones. So yeah, I completely agree. How do you not have Mark Hamill in this?
I mean, there's
like, what? He's got to show up, right?
I
don't know.
Like, there's a lot of this casting I would change, and it irks me. Like
Yeah.
I get it. It's The Rock. Okay, fine. And again, you don't have to get everybody who played, Batman. Kevin Conroy doesn't have to play Ace. Jim Daly doesn't have to play Jim Daly. Tim Daly.
Oh no.
The guy who did Superman. I forget. I think it's Tim Daly.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be Crypto. But
Yeah.
DC Animation has a well established roster of voice actors. So you're gonna tell me that they have decided to just throw the baby out with the bathwater and not have any of them in a significant role? Really?
Yeah, that's. I think this is just an unfortunate result of how Hollywood's run right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything's going to change until the industry does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. But anyway.
But where were we? And in a news that I didn't know anybody was actually looking for, Patrick Ness, who wrote A Monster Calls, is writing a prequel to Master and Commander. You remember that movie from like 20 years ago?
I never saw that. I thought it looked boring.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's getting a prequel movie. That's all I got for that. that's the news.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a thing.
Master and Commander.
Yeah, Master and Commander: Far Side of the World. It was Russell Crowe, and it was a whole big thing. But it was what?
Oh, okay.
When did that come out? 2002, 2003?
Oh, I have no idea. I saw that and I was like, not interested.
It's been a hot minute since that movie came out.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be a thing. So cool. More ships. More ship movies.
Yeah.
TV news. Really, the only thing I could find was the Moon Knight update that Oscar Isaac is confirmed to star. He's going to play Mark Spector.
I thought that was confirmed a long time ago.
That was here's the thing. Like it was a thing of like everybody was reporting it was pretty much a done deal a while back. But we got the official from Oscar Isaac and Marvel confirmation.
Okay.
A handful of days ago.
I thought that was done a long time ago. That's cool.
Yeah. It's that thing of like everybody knows this is a thing, and then finally they were just like, "Hey, this is a thing." We're like, "Yeah, we know." We already knew this, but
right.
Drop into the video game news. The only thing not specifically E3 related, and it may be shown at E3, but we'll talk about that schedule here in a second. Apparently, Ubisoft is working on a PvP game that's basically going to include all of the Tom Clancy franchises.
What?
Yeah, it's going to have Splinter Cell and The Division and whatever else they have that's Tom Clancy. I don't remember.
Okay.
Rainbow Six, I think. Like all that stuff is going to be some kind of part of it. So it basically sounds to me like they're trying to build their own version of Warzone, and I don't think it's going to work out for them.
All right.
But that's
that could be interesting. I never really was a fan of Tom Clancy games, but okay.
They're more strategy based than action based, and that's why I was never really big on them. But I get the allure. It's just they're just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I feel like I'm playing a game about a book that I would like to read when I'm in my 60s. I don't know. I never really got into it.
Basically that's what Tom Clancy books are.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
and that's where all this stuff comes from. So I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it just never interests me. It was a little, I don't know. And it always felt the same. Like, if you showed me any of the Tom Clancy games, I'm like, is that The Division? Is that Ghost Recon? What is this? They all just so similar.
Yeah. So, let's talk about this E3 schedule that starts on, what is it, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday's when everything really kicks off.
Did Ratchet and Clank come out?
This week? I don't know if it came out today or like Friday, but I'm pretty sure it's this week.
Like, did you see what you can do in that game? I don't even know if I want to spoil it.
I no, I missed it.
Should I talk about it, or do you care?
Uh, like, is it story spoilery?
I think so.
I
There's things you do in that game that could possibly set up something big with PlayStation, and I don't know if I should talk about it because I don't want to ruin it.
do.
IGN posted it on their Instagram, so
Yeah, well,
I did. I saw that, and I'm like, well, that's fucking cool. But it immediately made me want to get the game. Well, I wanted to get the game because it just looks cool overall. But I thought, oh, that's a doorway to something. That's an idea. But maybe I'll hold back till a week or so. Let people play it.
oh, okay.
But
I see what they did here.
yeah, should I
Okay.
talk about that?
Yeah, just because yeah, so this one of the weapons that they have basically just drops in other it just drops in items and things from other PlayStation games.
That's how you get PlayStation All Stars back, baby.
You don't need
That's how
to
you do it.
you don't need a tie-in for PlayStation All-Stars. You just need to make
I
a
get
game
it.
that people really really want to play, and they didn't do that.
Yes. But here's their Kirby, though. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Here's their
fair.
Kirby. Here's their. How did this get here? Whoop! Ratchet and Clank. It just opened up a portal. Suddenly Nathan Drake is there. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's such a cool tool. I can't wait to play that game. The other Ratchet and Clank game, the one for PlayStation 4,
Yeah.
was phenomenal. I actually have a game to play again now. I've been playing like older ones, like Spider-Man and stuff.
There you
But
go.
yeah, dude, I definitely want to get Ratchet and Clank. That's a banger. This one got 9s and 10s from a bunch of places, so yeah, it looks fun. I'll definitely play that.
Oh,
But yeah, we can.
and what is this here? Battlefield 2042 was just announced.
Yes, I think the original one was what Battlefield 2041, the futuristic one. I mean, the original futuristic one. Or
Sure.
wait, no, was it 2040? No, it was. Hold on.
Yeah, this is gonna have to
Because
be a lookup.
wasn't because I played Battlefield 1942 when it came out on PC day one.
I think
I
I
thought it
think
was fucking amazing.
I think that's
What?
what they're doing. I think they're going from 1942 to 2042.
Right, but there was an original one that went into the future. I just forgot the name of it. Anyway, but yeah, that's the idea.
There was also
Uh,
a 2142.
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nobody really
that's
likes to
what
talk
this.
about that one because it wasn't great.
It was like the third one or something like that, I believe. I remember going to a LAN party when that came out back in the day, um, and people were playing it. My PC couldn't handle that. I was just playing Warcraft at the time, and I was like, "Oh, that looks awesome!" And I could play Battlefield 1942, but I could not play that one.
Yeah.
God, was I at? This was not that much after high school. I remember. I think it was like 2007.
Yeah.
This was whenever Burning Crusade: Wrath of the Lich King was out. So it was a little bit after high school for me. And I remember people playing that. I was thought, oh, that looks so cool. You're so fast, so quick. I guess that's what they're doing. They're going into the future, which makes sense. They've kind of stayed out of the future for a while now, right? Like,
Yeah,
I remember people got. Go
it's
ahead.
been going like you've been going backwards.
Right.
Like
They went back for about 10 years probably now, or it's close to that. Because people got tired of the futuristic Call of Duty stuff, so they're like, let's rein it back. Let's go back to the past.
yeah.
And it looks like now they're like, no, let's skip ahead, skip ahead a little bit. Hopefully this is quick. Battlefield usually isn't quick. Like, you're not moving around quickly, but I would like that.
Yeah. That'll
That's
be
cool.
a fictional story taking place during the quote unquote war for mankind in the year 2042. Okay. With a I'm sorry, October 22nd of this year, this game's going to come out in 4 months.
Oh, hell yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Interesting. Okay.
I love that.
All
I,
right.
I, I
Fine. What the
love it
hell?
when the game's announced and you're like, it's a couple months away. I'm in.
I Here's the thing, like this thing looks amazing. I'm not excited though. Like
Oh yeah. Well,
I'm
okay. I'm selfishly excited. My reasons are not everybody's. This is a game I can play with my brother. This is a game I know he'll get, and this is like, I feel that way with Call of Duty, if that makes sense.
fair
I
enough.
don't like the Call of Duty games, but I like playing with him. So I'm like, yes, a game I can play with him. So that's why I'm excited for, because I know he will get it. A couple of my other friends will get it that love first person shooters. Uh, this will be day and date on Xbox One. Hell yeah!
Yeah,
That means I'll get it on the PC day one. That's cool.
but
Um,
okay. Yeah, that'll be something. And we'll hear more about.
yeah.
I imagine we'll hear more about that during Microsoft's big
Really.
hoopla.
Dude, I'm excited for the Bethesda stuff.
Because it's the same. It's a dual branded show. It's a Microsoft and Bethesda conference.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
But all right, let's talk about this schedule here.
Yeah.
Everything starts technically on Saturday, the 12th.
Yes.
It's gonna be Saturday, June 12th. And I'm just gonna go over the at least what are the bigger looking ones. I may miss one or two here, going down the line, and I'm gonna try to convert these to Eastern time because everything I'm looking at is in Pacific. Gorilla has a showcase, the Gorilla Collective showcase, the Killzone guys, Saturday, June 12th at 11 a.m. And that's kind of the sort of unofficial kickoff to E3 this year.
Okay.
And then they have a direct at, what is this? I can't do this math. 1 p.m. Gorilla has a direct. So, okay. The first big show, arguably, is Ubisoft. They're calling it Ubisoft Forward. You know, probably not with their harassment policies, but at least with their video games, they're moving forward.
Right.
On the 12th at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Gearbox is at 5 p.m. on the 12th. And I think, and that's the presentations, conferences, whatever you want to call them, for Saturday. Sunday's gonna be a big day. Day. Xbox, it is the Xbox and Bethesda showcase at 1 p.m. Eastern. Again,
Cool.
this is Sunday the 13th, and following on from that, at 3:15, yes, I can do that math right. 3:15 Eastern on Sunday the 13th is Square Enix Presents. That one I am particularly excited for because I wonder what all Final Fantasy stuff we're going to see. Obviously, they're going to talk about Intergrade because it comes out tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
So there'll be a little bit of like, hey, we just launched this. They'll talk about 14. They'll talk a little bit about 16 because it was announced last year at some point. And I think they want it to come out this year, if I remember right.
Apparently, Yoshi P's producing that one, or he's on top of that one as well.
Yes, they're taking what is it, the second... I can't remember the name of it. Was it like Second Engine Studios or whatever it is that does the bulk of the work on 14 and is doing 16.
Yeah.
So that's
perfect.
There is a lot of hype for 16 because of that.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be interesting to see, like, because they'll talk a little about 14 because of the expansion and everything.
Yeah.
They'll talk about.
Well, that's their biggest moneymaker. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be a big part, and I'm excited because this will be the first year I'm actually paying attention to it. So.
That's fair. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But there's let's see. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I wonder if they'll talk about anything further for 7 Remake. Will they tease part 2? Or will they just leave off on that? It's like, and by the way, we're currently working on Final Fantasy 7 Remake part 2. We'll have news for that, somewhere down the road. that's kind of what I expect, because I think their biggest draws Final Fantasy wise are going to be 14 and 16.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
I think they do give an update for 7. Yeah, I think there's got to be an update for it.
maybe if we didn't have 16 coming out, I'd say definitely, but I don't know.
Wait, when is 16 coming out?
I think it's either this year or next.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Let's see, Final Fantasy 16. Scheduled. At least I think there may not have been an official anything said. More information planned to be revealed in 2021. That'll be today. Basically,
I'm such an idiot. I completely forgot that they already showed Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, they announced it last year.
It was very much like a medieval kind of setting, like castles and stuff, right?
Yes.
That's right. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm such an idiot. It took so long between 14 and 15 that for some reason I thought it'd be longer. Yeah, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And the thing I was looking for is creative. What is it? Shit, I lost it. Come back. Creative Business Unit 3 is that particular production company that handles. That's what they called it, man. That's their big thing for 14, and that's the team that's doing.
And Blizzard has Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, Team 4. So yeah,
So
they keep it simple. I think StarCraft is Team 1. Warcraft is Team 2. Warcraft's definitely Team 2. I think Diablo's Team 3. I don't know. I mix them up. But...
Yeah.
And they're gonna probably talk about the rumored Final Fantasy game, right?
What?
The Dark Souls Final Fantasy.
Oh
game.
yeah, Final Fantasy Origins. Yes. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. I think people love Dark Souls and they love Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And those two could go together so well, especially with a big ass sword. Fuck, dude, that's gonna be cool. Those games but the problem with those games is they're so hard.
Yeah,
they have that. I keep wanting to say gatekeeping, but there's an entry level that if you can't get past that, you get frustrated and you're like, fuck this game. I thought Bloodborne did a really good job at making it different. But yeah, dude, Dark Souls Final Fantasy game would be cool.
Yeah. So that's God, I forgot about that. Yeah. And given we may get news about 7 as well, because they are different teams. Creative Business Unit 3 is handling 14 and 16. Creative Business Unit 1 handles Final Fantasy 7. Like, they handle the mainline Final Fantasy games and Kingdom Hearts games. So we may get quite a bit of Final Fantasy news this year.
So.
We just might. That would be a hell of a, like, imagine if Square just walks out and just throws that on the table and it's like, here.
Oh yeah.
We're doing big things with 14. We're also making 16. Here's an update on 7 Part 2. Here's, a Dark Souls Final Fantasy game. Also, by the way, we're still doing those 2 Final Fantasy 7 spin-offs, the Battle Royale and the little chibi-looking title game.
The mobile,
yeah. So does anybody else have anything to say? No. Cool. Good night. Mic drop.
Right.
Because they would. They absolutely would. And that's Sunday. And
I wonder, real quick, when they would start on a new Kingdom Hearts game.
Don't get them started. Neo, The World Ends With You is very Kingdom Hearts-ish. I think that's where they're going with that. Like, it has a very similar look and feel to it.
Yeah, the idea that now with Disney, how many properties they now have.
Yeah.
They didn't include in the last one. That would be wild.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. Neo.
Yeah. Which is a sequel to The World Ends With You. I forgot that was a DS title.
Yeah.
That's been a hot minute. That's been years. But yeah,
Yeah.
it has a very Kingdom Hearts kind of look and feel to it.
Okay.
And really, that's it for Sunday. There's other little odds and ends here and there, but nothing on that kind of scale. I mean, and
Yeah.
on Monday, I mean, there's a panel for Take Two at
Okay.
1:15. Might be interesting. Maybe. Um,
This is also spread out. Like I miss 3 days, and you had Xbox one day, PlayStation the next. Uh, Nintendo usually ends it, and then you had everyone else spread out within those 3 days.
right.
This is so I don't like this.
Yeah. And then Monday at 5:30 p.m. is Capcom has a presentation. Like they're doing their
Okay.
own thing. It's like, okay, cool. So we'll get some updates on Village, and I don't know, probably something Street Fighter. And the one thing that I keep seeing everywhere, and I hear about this at my theater job, and I keep seeing it online too. Everybody wants a Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection because they've done Legacy Collections for everything else Mega Man. They've done it for Mega Man, they've done it for X, they've done it for Zero, but not for Battle Network. And I would be okay with that because those were fun and interesting little games.
Yeah. Do you think we get? Well, yeah. I was never into Mega Man. Do you think we get a Marvel vs. Capcom announcement?
Huh. I doubt it. I doubt it.
Wait, isn't the rumor that NetherRealm Studios working on a Marvel game?
There has been a slight bit of talk about that.
That would be cool.
If
Marvel vs. DC.
if you're going to announce that, I think that breaks during the Xbox showcase. Anything
Oh.
that's third party that's not represented in somebody else's conference, like a Ubisoft or Capcom
Dude,
or something, you're going to get a lot of news during the Microsoft conference.
do you think they would be allowed to do a Marvel vs. DC game? Because
Oh,
they're Warner Brothers.
yeah, so they have so they intrinsically have
They have the
DC.
rights. I mean, they would
If
probably have to be sort of agreement to like, hey, at the end of this game story, we can't have Wolverine, kill Batman, but obviously they team up and take on a villain. But dude, a NetherRealm Marvel vs. DC game in the style of like Injustice, like with the like the animation, dude,
yeah, uh,
that you got my attention.
I mean fair, very
Yeah.
fair.
I go 6 to midnight with that thought with a Marvel vs. DC game, dude. I think that would be phenomenal.
But I don't know. We'll see. That's like I said. That's something that would be like during the Xbox
That would be
conference for
cool.
sure. Um,
Yeah. Well, actually, okay, real fast. Sorry, I don't mean to pause so much. The last Mortal Kombat was praised. That people loved it.
yeah,
People still playing it. The next one has to be like an Injustice or like a Marvel or something
yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah. The next thing NetherRealm
Okay.
works on is not going to be Mortal Kombat.
Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, this would be the year, and this would be the time to announce something. So
Yeah. Right. No kidding.
that's definitely gonna be something I'm looking forward to. Even
Uh,
if it's just a Marvel fighting game, that I'm all game for that.
yeah, because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was not great.
Yeah,
It
no,
it was it was not.
it's like it's one of those things. I feel like people feel like they need to do more or do something different. They should have just done more Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in that animation style. I would have loved how quick that is. But now you have the ability to add so many more characters. And that character roster was gigantic to begin with.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, every time I think about Marvel vs. Capcom or any of those games, I always go back to 2. That's the one where I was like, this was cool. And we saw with the Dragon Ball Z fighters, like you can do that kind of animation, that cell shaded stuff, and it looked gorgeous
Yeah, and play. Like I mean, they're
and played just great.
I mean, it's still Dragon Ball Fighters is going to be around at tournaments for a long ass time.
Absolutely. And those kind of games hold up stylistically. It's the same thing with like Warcraft. When you have a style, you can play those games for 10, 20, 30 years and it just like Mario, like Mario Super Mario World, it still looks fucking crisp in
It
2021.
it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah, and those are games that last. When you start getting into the 3D, and when it comes to animated properties, man, just keep it like that. Not all the time, obviously. Like you can do Batman games and shit like Arkham Knight, like all that stuff's cool. But these quick fighting games where it's every pixel counts, dude, just do the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 art style. Everyone loves Jim Lee, like everyone loves 90s looking X-Men, like you can't go wrong with those look, especially for comic book characters. That's like one of the most beloved time frames. But you can update it. You can make them look normal or modern. You can put Moon Knight in there. You can put all these crazy characters that people care about now. But I always feel like they go towards the big problem with the last one is it looked so generic.
Yeah.
It looked like mobile game characters because it was so just there was no art direction with it. Where when you get something that looks like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you're like, oh, that looks like Jim Lee's drawings or something like that,
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, little rant. I'm excited for that, dude. I'm excited for whatever NetherRealm announces. I'm pumped for whatever they're gonna do because the big hope is Marvel vs. DC, which probably not gonna happen. Odds are totally against us. Maybe a just straight up Marvel fighting game would be cool in the style of Injustice or something like that. I don't know what you would do, but you could just do like Thanos, right? Like there's been a ton of Marvel fighting games that just Thanos's crystals or whatever or gems.
Yeah.
But anyway, or stones for the movie. Sorry.
Yeah, like no, but that could like you don't have to. Like I enjoy a good story in a fighting game because you don't always get them, but it's why NetherRealm tells a fantastic story, and makes a good fighting game at the same time. So if they're like, hey, we're working on a Marvel property, I'm in. Like, cool, tell me a good story, give me a good fight. Like I know the mechanics are going to be great.
Mm-hmm. You know what would be cool if they did? If they made a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Tournament Fighters.
There's the I think the closest we're going to get to that is what's the 16-bit game that they announced, a couple months ago?
Yeah, the Nintendo Switch, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't fucking wait for that. I don't know when that's going to come out. I don't think we got an announcement date, but that should be out this year. Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
Yes, that looks so good. Oh, why don't we have a release date for that? Hopefully we get that this week, right?
Yeah, that may
this
come
would
out.
Be the...
That'll come out during Nintendo's thing. The Nintendo Direct is Tuesday, June 15th at noon. It's Tuesday at noon Eastern Time.
Hell yeah. Now, is that just for the Switch, or is it's got to be on Steam, right? Or is that just straight up Nintendo game?
I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Okay. Is it on Steam?
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
It's on Steam.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Dude, but that's kind of the perfect Switch game, too. That's the game you put on a plane, get on a train, go beat up people with Ninja Turtles. I started playing, sorry, I don't mean to go on a tangent here. What was the Teenage Mutants in Manhattan? Yeah, have you heard of that game?
Yes.
It's made by, oh god. Let me look it up real fast.
I know
the studio.
Yeah, I remember this game. It was,
Platinum Games.
Yes, Platinum Games. Thank you.
Sorry. You say, well, yeah, Platinum Games, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Like I was shocked at how much I was really fucking enjoying it.
Yeah, it was. I do remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, dude.
But I don't know. We'll see. Tis the season for new announcements. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But Oh, sorry. I had a mild panic attack because I was really zoomed out on the recording tracks, so it's not.
Oh no.
It takes a long time for it to progress, so it didn't move anywhere. And I was like, "Oh my god, it did it again!" But no, it's just I was zoomed so far out. Of course, it wasn't going to show
Yeah.
any progression.
Well, if we
Ah.
screwed up, it would have been just really good conversations.
Yeah, it's just been like, okay, this week's episode, we tried to record twice, and
Right.
it said no, so that's
It'll be our secret episode. Yeah. Wait. Speaking of that, I don't know why this just popped in my head. Did you see that someone bought an invisible statue?
yes, I did see that. I
I thought
actually
it was fake.
I did. I thought it was too, but art people.
Oh, that's so good. Why didn't I think of that?
I
Oh man.
because we're the kind of people who just sit there and think that is the stupidest thing on the planet.
Wait, no one would fall for that.
No, of course not. But
It's like imagine being the first Nigerian prince.
I
Like imagine being the first guy that did that, right?
and it's like people believe this? Really?
Right, exactly.
What else? What else will people believe? Like
Right.
in 2 months we're gonna reinstate Trump as president because that's how it works.
That's exactly how it sounds.
People
Exactly.
believe anything. I no, I can't believe somebody bought an
You look
invisible
at those
statue.
people and you're like, how did you make it into your 60s?
How,
How did you go through life? How do you have a home? How do you have things and you believe in this? Like, how does that happen? How does racism just get so embedded in you that you can, and then somehow you function?
right?
Yeah.
You would think at some point they'd get stabbed. Like just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
honestly
Something
just
would
saying.
happen.
But
Right. Yeah. It's
uh,
ridiculous. It's
and then
totally
on a similar but yet very different kind of spectrum there, it's like how in the hell do you buy an invisible statue? What are you
yeah.
thinking? What kind of money do you just give me the money? Like don't
Well,
try to be like I bought an invisible statue. Just give me the money so I can
which
go put a down payment on a house or something. Like
oh yeah, it's probably on some sort of like platform where that's the stage. Here you go. I'm handing it to you, and it's on that, and then you display that base in your
oh yeah.
home. It's got like because what are they like? Where's the statue? You're looking at it. Pick it up. There you go. You took it. Bye. Who? No. Hats off to the guy who just conned that whoever he sold that to. Uh, but what the fuck? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to get so sidetracked. Oh, real fast, while we're sidetracked, um, uh, we talked about Giant Bomb, right? And
Yeah.
how three of the big guys left, right?
Yeah.
Um, who was it? Vinny, Caravella, Alex, and essentially they and Brad, they started a new company to do podcasts and streaming, and it's called Nextlander. So ex Giant Bomb staff, yeah, here's the article, starts new podcast streaming, whatever. It's what it's like when whoever left, when Kind of Funny people left IGN, they started Kind of Funny. So from what I understand, there's no beef between them. There's obviously a lot of speculation that Jeff stayed because that's his baby, and he's going to keep, no, who would blame him? That's his baby. Giant Bomb's his baby. But I think these guys probably wanted to do their own thing. Now that Giant Bomb, of course, is owned by CBS at this point, like it's corporate.
Yeah.
I think they kind of wanted to do their own thing. And hats off to them. That it was a huge blow because I loved their podcast. They were definitely an inspiration for me. And seeing them break off, and now they're doing next thing. Now I have another podcast to listen to, which is great. And two of those guys were already doing their own Giant Bomb East anyway. So having Brad Shoemaker on there is pretty cool. So these are knowledgeable guys. They've been in the business for 20 plus years, which is ridiculous for video games, which is great. And Giant Bomb has announced a lot of stuff too, like I wanted to call him Danny McBride, but that's not it. What's his name? Dan. He does No Clip.
I don't
Um,
remember his name off the top of my head, and I'm just kind of drawing out the sentence because I know you're looking it up, and
yeah,
hopefully there
he's
won't.
very Irish. Hold on a second.
I don't.
Uh,
Oh, and that's something. Speaking of which, that's a mini tangent. I
Danny
can go off while
Dreyer.
you're doing that.
Yeah,
Well, you found it.
yeah, Dwyer,
Thank you.
and Dan Riker is going to be working with Giant Bomb again. They're collabing, so he's not officially part of Giant Bomb, but he's going to be working with them on shows, which is great. Like that, I hope all these people still work in the same space and with each other. And it was all very, what's the word? When these guys left, it was all very good. They all seem to be on good terms. You don't have a week of celebrating your staff leaving if it's on bad terms, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
In the podcast with them, talking to them, joking around, Jeff seemed like it seems like this is like, hey, I get it. You guys want to go do your own thing, hats off to you. Obviously, you're gonna let him go do that. And this seemed very cool. So the good thing is, all these people are still doing the same stuff. They're just kind of a little bit separate, but still working with each other. So that's cool. Especially Dan Riker. Dan Riker is a psychopath in the best way. I love his wrestling stuff. His Twitch channel is absolutely insane. At any point in time, you can turn in there, and he is doing a crazy Mario run. At the same time, they're screaming bacon in the chat. Like it is a nightmare fueled Twitch stream, and every time it's entertaining. And he has that WWE blood in him, where he knows that he doesn't just sit there and play a video game and talk about it. Like it's always something going on with him, which is great. So anyway, that's small news. I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, real fast. Did you see the no clip Final Fantasy stuff?
No, I was just gonna say like that's something
Ah,
that I still need to do today.
yeah. It's a three-parter. It's one of
Yep.
those where there's a lot of Japanese in it, so make sure you got to watch the screen.
Yep.
You can't be doing other stuff, but yeah, definitely. Sorry, didn't mean to go off. I apologize.
No,
Back to
no.
E3.
That's fine. Because we got
Uh,
it's gonna be an interesting spread out weekend. I don't know. We don't know when Sony is doing their next state of play kind of thing. I don't think.
okay.
Um, I can look. They may have announced one and not. No, I'm not seeing one. So
Yeah, I didn't see they're doing a state. Yeah, they're just skipping E3, which is insane.
well, I mean they did that last year too. I think they've done it for the last is it couple years now.
Yeah, they
Um,
skipped 2000. They haven't been there since 2019, I think.
yeah.
Or no, 2018.
Damn. Well, I mean, it works for them. Like they don't really they've shown that they don't need quote unquote E3.
Yeah, well, wait a second. Is there wait. I'm looking at a website that says here's what we hope from the state of play. But I'm not
Yeah, but
seeing.
there's not been one announced. They're just kind of like, hey, during E3 season, there's sure to be a state of play at some point, right? So, assuming they do one,
Yeah,
here's what we want from it.
gotcha. Yeah, nothing's officially been announced. That's fucking stupid. That's I mean, at one point in time, it was always a joke about PlayStation at E3, right? And then it became like the must-watch show because they blew you away
Well,
like
because
year after year.
when they it was during the last gen console launch when
Yeah,
Microsoft made all the blunders and Sony just came out and went, "Oh, by the way, all that stupid stuff that sounds stupid if somebody else were to say stupid things about what they were going to do with their console, wouldn't all that stuff be stupid? Yeah, we're not only not going to do that stupid stuff, we're going to do awesome stuff." And
yeah,
just like it was a and because that was also I think that was the year, it was either the year before or the year after where they came out and it was just like, oh, you guys have been talking about The Last Guardian and following that crazy ass production cycle, right? And it's a thing and it's not a thing and it's a thing and it's not a thing. It's a thing. Oh, hey, do
right.
you guys really want to get involved, with you guys love Kickstarter projects, right? So here's a way to help partner out. Shenmue 3, which,
Right.
then how well they turned out, But at the time, it was the hype because that was also the same year that, oh, by the way, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Boom, you're welcome, Internet. Like, that was the year that Sony was just like, you can't touch us. We are king of the mountain. And so I think that was a way, they could pull away from E3 and say, no, we can do this on our own terms. And there have been some misses. The year that they did, the whole like walking tour kind of press conference, like that was a neat in-person thing, but it didn't translate as like a live stream conference. It didn't work.
Right. Right. I agree.
But they've gone. It looks like what they basically have done is gone the sort of the Nintendo Direct route, which I think is the best if you're going to do it that way.
Well, what they might be doing is waiting to see what Xbox announces. I mean, I'm sure they have to have something in the bucket ready to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then maybe we get something hopefully sometime next week. That would be great. State of Play on Thursday or Wednesday or something like that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. And it would make sense.
Yeah.
It's still...
That's all we need.
It's still E3 week and everything, Xbox will have their day, Nintendo can have their day. And that's... Because, I mean, that was how you scheduled everything, man. I remember those days. Friday... It was always like, Friday, like, night, somebody would go. And then, Saturday, like, Friday, it was always like afternoon on Friday, like, it either kicked off with Xbox on Friday or it ended with Xbox on Friday. And it was always like, EA and Ubisoft would go, and then Xbox. And then on Saturday, you'd have whoever was left before Sony. You'd have, Square would do a thing or something. There was always one or two more. And then Sony would be the main event Saturday night. And then Sunday at like noon or 11 o'clock in the morning or whatever would be Nintendo. And that was, and that was the formula for years and years. But Nintendo was the first one to say, you know what? This doesn't benefit us. We can do this our own way. And it worked for them. I mean, Directs became a thing where it was just like, hey, we're doing this for E3. But then they were like, but we can also do this whenever we freaking want to.
Right.
So they did. And then,
Makes sense.
Sony looked at that and said, wow, you know what? Why don't we just do our own mini E3 for us? And it worked, and then, pandemic and everything, they had to move to doing a direct style anytime they wanted to do something like that. And their first one was okay. Their second one was not tremendous, but they got better at it. But Microsoft is going to go big. They're the only one of the big three at E3. Look for them to go big, and not just with Bethesda. We're going to have, God only knows what all we're going to hear from Bethesda. Are we going to hear anything from, what is it? What's their space Elder Scrolls? What the hell is it? Starlink? Starfield?
Oh, God.
See? We can always...
Starcraft 2? No. Starfield.
Is it Starfield? Okay.
Starfield, yeah. Oh, that's the big one. I mean, we all know the next Elder Scrolls is years down the road. But Starfield, yes. That is their next big open world game.
Yeah, we'll hear about that. We'll hear about Elden Ring. We'll hear about a little bit more of.
Oh yeah.
I think.
When do you start thinking Amazon shows up to E3?
When they actually decide to make games.
Like in August.
Do what now?
New World. Their big MMO that they're making.
Are they actually making it?
It's been made, yeah. I think the beta comes out, in a couple of days. New World is right around the corner. I'll send you a link. Let's see here.
I see it. I never.
Oh yeah, well you don't really play MMOs that much, I guess. But yeah, New World. Yeah, that's they've been working on this for a while. They, not too long ago they announced that they were going to do a Lord of the Rings, and then they canceled that MMO.
Yeah.
And I think because they were like, hey, we already have one in the works, don't need two of them. But this has been in the works for a while now. It's coming out. I don't know.
August 31st this year is when it comes out.
Yeah, August 31st. So yeah, they're doing the beta like now. People seem hyped for it. Now they did recently announce some shitty news about it, about being able to purchase a bunch of stuff in the game. They've claimed none of it will be winning, pay to win stuff. But I think it's one of those, like, it's because it's 2021, they have to have some sort of online store so you can purchase things so the studio can make money. But it seems like a cool new big MMO game. I'll definitely be getting it and checking it out. I love MMOs.
This is going to completely fall apart, and it's going to be because Amazon doesn't know how to make games. Because I remember they announced 3 games. It was New World, Crucible, and the other one was Breakaway. And then of course later on they announced the Lord of the Rings MMO. Of those 4 games that they've announced over the last few years, the only one that wasn't canceled is New World.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm right there with you. I completely agree. The next MMO that I'm really excited about is called Ashes of Creation. And maybe we'll talk about that next week or something like that, because there's way too much to talk about with that MMO. But the stuff you can do in Ashes is, when you hear it, you're like, there's no way that can work. There's no way that you can have functioning cities and mayors and all this stuff that they're promising and hyping up PvP wise, where you build up a city and there's all these different, you can have like 120 different essentially factions in the world, and you're on your server, and I'm not even going to get into it, but Ashes of Creation is the one that I'm really looking forward to. New World, it's a new MMO. It looks interesting. I always love exploring a brand new world that's an MMO. Who knows how it'll do? I don't think it will do that. I'm right there with you. I think Amazon has squandered it, but who knows, man? People behind it seem to be really passionate about it, so we'll see.
Well, and as we all know, as long as you feel really strongly about a game, that means it'll be made right and do good things.
Right, no, hey, I have hope. But a lot of the stuff that they talked about, like, the verbiage is very, like, we have no plans to put any pay to win. It's like, no, you need to say this game will never have buy to play or pay to play game mechanics, period. Yeah. That should be your opening statement to MMO players. You're going to get people that's why, I don't know, it's frustrating because they think their audience is stupid. And I'm sure a lot of them are, but like, there's a lot of people who see that and go, no pay to win. Get out of here. You can do cosmetic stuff, fine, but you cross the line when you do pay to win MMO. That's a start stop, right? Like, not going forward with that. I would never buy the game if it was like that. But yeah. I don't know. MMO people are very particular. So.
Don't you guys have phones?
Right, exactly.
In history, man, that will go down forever. Like, that's a thing 40 years from now. Gamers will say, somebody, we'll be old ass people in nursing homes, and somebody will complain about a video game, and it could be one of the orderlies or somebody on staff, and somebody sitting there playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards from like the 17th expansion is going to be sitting in there, and they're going to put their Jello down and just look up and go, "Don't any of you guys have phones?" And like 5 people in the common room are going to laugh, and everybody who's working there is going to be like, what the hell is a phone? Because moved beyond. But
yep. I completely agree, dude.
It will. Like, that's just sad history.
Yeah, it's wild how Blizzard has fallen so far. And now is the opportunity. I don't think that would be a WoW killer, but Final Fantasy, man, is doing so fucking well with what they're doing.
Yep.
And I think that other studios can do better. Final Fantasy is killing it. But there's also opportunities with Final Fantasy as well that they could do some things better.
Sure.
Now is the time for someone to step in and go, hey, you guys have loved that game for years. You're loving Final Fantasy. here we go. Here's a new world, and we take the good things from both of those kind of games, like WoW and Final Fantasy. Now is the opportunity for a studio to do that. If there ever was, now is the chance.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I gotta get going soon. Yeah. Is there any other E3?
No, I think that covers all the major stuff. But yeah,
cool.
basically next week is just gonna be a big game news week.
Hell yeah, we'll try and fit it in. I know you got plans. You're going to be going away. Maybe we can. I don't know what days are free for you, but maybe we can squeeze something in. If not, pay attention to our Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot. We'll announce when we can record it. But yeah, next week's going to be huge, dude.
Yep. Oh, and watch Loki. It dropped today.
Yes, absolutely. That is on my to-do list. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk about that next week or whenever you come back from your vacation. And yeah, dude, make sure you go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast, Twitter @We Geek Podcast, the YouTube. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And yeah, we have a ton to talk about next time. So we'll see you guys. Captain?
Captain.